What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Well, welcome into episode 182, everybody. I am your host, Sleazeball. Today's episode is going to be my Week 16 Fantasy Football Semifinal Playoff. 8 smash start players that I think that are going for 20-plus fantasy points this week. And these players are outside the top 10 overall at their position. So I'm not going to give you like a smash start superstar. That's not what I like to do. I like to give you players who you're thinking about, who I think are going to smash based on research, based on my knowledge, based on everything I'm about to show you in this video. So before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscription button. It helps me out a ton. Turn that bell on. Again, I'll be live Thursday this week and Friday. That's it. I head out of town to Tahoe for my wife's family Christmas, and then I'll be back next week around Tuesday. So if you can't make the shows Thursday, Friday, you can drop any comment you want down below. I try to answer every single one of them. That is a goal of mine as a content creator all year long, to help you guys get to the spot we're at now in the playoffs. So let's dive into my absolute smash start plays for week 16. So what I like to do is give you 2 QBs, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends that I think are going to absolutely smash this week. Starting off with my quarterback, number 1, that is going to go nuclear in week 16 of fantasy football playoffs, is Jordan Love. Currently averaging 18.1 points per game, QB 16, so outside the top 10 there. 2,953 passing yards, 75 rushing yards. His rushing yards are down. He was injured at the beginning of the year in Brazil in that game, and then he got hurt again midway through, and he's been fighting through it. But his rushing yards, you're starting to see his mobility come up a little bit here, so I expect it to go up as the season goes on. 11 interceptions. That was at the beginning of the year when he was hurt. He has not thrown a pick in the past 4 games, so you can tell that he's getting healthy, and this team is dangerous, man. 24 total TDs on the year. Now, Week 16, you're going to get the Monday Night Football game versus the Saints, the last laugh. So you have to start this guy no matter what, because you're going to get the last. I love having that Monday night game. Now, when you're looking at this Jordan Love matchup here versus the Saints, so on the season right now, they are currently ranking 11th, giving up 15.7 points. That was the beginning of the year. Their defense was very, very good. They've traded away Lattimore, right? So that's hurt their cornerback situation. They give up 258.3 passing yards and a 1.3 touchdowns per game to the quarterback. But what we're also going to look at here, and Romeo Doubs is back healthy, and you saw him get 2 touchdowns last week. It really elevates the offense. But we're going to look at the last 4 weeks compared to the season. So on the season, remember, 15.7, right, to the quarterback. The last 4 weeks, they're getting up 18.8, even worse. They're in the bottom 10. So, and they just played the New York Giants. You have to think about that as well. That was Tommy DeVito got even hurt in the game. So they're giving up 636 passing yards in that stretch, and 4 touchdowns to go with it. So a touchdown a game. I expect this to be an electrifying Green Bay Packers game. The only thing that would scare me away from this absolute smash start is the game script here. Can the Saints even stay in the game? I still don't think that's going to matter. I still think Jordan Love is going to drop 20 points in this game either way. Get this man into your lineup this week. The second player that is going to go nuclear in the fantasy football playoffs, the second QB, is going to be Caleb Williams. And I know you guys are going to look at this one and go, why Caleb Williams? I'm going to break this down in a couple different ways here. But first, I know it's kind of tacky, but I am going to show you my own tweet because I haven't seen other people tweet this out. So I tweeted this out yesterday, right? So the Detroit Lions not only took a massive loss to the Buffalo Bills last week, they took massive injury hits as well. So Aleem McNeil, their star DT, out for the season. Carlton Davis, star cornerback, out for the season. They've also had other key injuries of Aiden Hutchinson and Anzalone, the linebacker, other star players. These are their 4 best defensive players when the season started, and they are out for the years, guys. So this is going to be such a plus matchup for Caleb Williams here that it's absolutely crazy. So I accidentally closed that out. So let's look at the season here. So on the season, the Detroit Lions were very good versus the quarterback till these last 2 weeks where they've gotten beaten up. So they give up 16.3 points on the season. That ranks 16th, okay? 249.4 passing yards, which is middle of the pack, and 0.9 passing TDs a year. So they were all very good versus the quarterback. They were top 10, top 5 all season long. Now, let's look at the last 4 weeks here, guys. Throw the whole season out the window because these injuries have decimated this defense, okay? Now, the Detroit Lions over the past 4 weeks are dead last versus the quarterback. 23.74 points they have allowed, 996 passing yards, which is last in the NFL by 90 yards in the past 4 weeks, and 6 TDs they've given up as well. Now, when you have all these injuries, you have to expect DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, who's on fire, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift, Roma Dunze. This is going to be a game where the Detroit Lions are going to have to score at will, and the Bears are going to have to keep up. And this defense is now getting gashed everywhere. I love Caleb Williams this week. The third smash player of the week, heading over to the running back side, is going to be James Conner of the Arizona Cardinals. So you now also have, before we dive into it here, you now also have DeMarcado and Trey Benson banged up. It's probably going to be DJ Dallas behind him, who is going to see no work, but maybe kick returns and maybe a couple snaps here. He is going to get all the work here heading into a monster game when they're 7-7, and the whole NFC West is 8-6, 8-6, 7-7, fighting for this spot. So James Conner, 13.1 points per game, 71% snap share last week, 11.5% target share on the season, which has gone up the past couple weeks. He's done a lot more in the receiving game as of late since week 10. So his numbers have popped up a lot. He's actually RB11 overall. I messed up that statistic, so outside the top 10 there. 973 yards, 361 receiving yards, 217 attempts at a 4.5 yards per carry average, which is very nice. 8 total TDs on the season. He's got one to the air last week as well. That was week 14. But here's what you have to look at here. So Seattle, 22 points. New England, 31 points. Now you get the Carolina Panthers. James Conner could be in for a RB1 overall week this week. It's going to be absolutely nuts. So when you're looking at the Carolina Panthers on the season, what do they rank? Dead last, 32nd, 28.4 points. In the red zone, 9.1 points, ranking 31st, only behind the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's why these defenses, I call them the pot of gold. 141.5 rushing yards allowed. Smash all the James Conner props this week. He is going to absolutely destroy the Carolina Panthers. Marvin Harrison Jr. has become kind of a boomer bust guy. They are going to rely on their workhorse, and now their backup sprinkled to the running backs are hurt. So this is going to be an 85+% snap share James Conner gave, and I expect to possibly 30 again from him this week. My fourth smash start player, second running back heading into the playoffs here, is going to be Rico Dowdle. He was on my smash list last week. He didn't get to 20, but he gave you 15. He gave you 150 yards on the ground. All he had to do was find the end zone, and it would have been fine. Career high game for him. 3 straight games with 100+ yards rushing. 3 straight games with 20+ touches, averaging 22.5. Now, on the season, only averaging 10 points per game. Obviously, he wasn't the guy going forward. He's kind of gotten the full-blown role since week 13. So you can see his numbers just increasing. He looks great out there, man. So snap share was 74% last week, second highest on the season. Target share, 8.6%. Obviously, that's lower because he wasn't the guy to start off. RB26 on the year, 880 rushing yards. He's going to crack 1,000 easy. He already has 1,000 total yards if you combine his receiving yards as well. Imagine what he would have done if he was the guy from the beginning, what his yards would look like. He'd probably be around 1,500 right now. So attempts, this is what you have to love right here. 177 attempts at a 5.0 yards per carry. This guy is a game-breaking running back. Absolutely insane value in the draft to start the season if you got Rico Dowdle. 4 total TDs. Now, they're going to get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here, and their numbers are going to look kind of skewed. They've gotten healthier. They got Vita back. They got a bunch of guys back on their defense. Tampa Bay ranks 13th versus the running back, giving up 21.7, 22nd in the red zone, 80 yards a game, and a 40% chance of a touchdown. And in the past 4 weeks, Tampa has been the number 1 run defense. But I'm throwing that out the window because the usage this guy is getting is absolutely insane. And if you are not RB2 or flexing this guy this week versus Tampa, you're out of your mind. Like, the questions are going to roll in about Rico Dowdle. He is a must-start running back with 20+ touches a game. You cannot ignore this. And I know it doesn't look good on paper in the last 4 weeks. Still, they've given up 216 yards, which is about 50 yards. I'd say 70 yards a game there with their they didn't have a bye included, so it's about 55 yards a game there. In the air, they're giving up about 25 yards, so about 75 total. All you have to do is find the end zone here, which he can definitely do in this game. I love Rico Dowdle this week. Fifth smash player heading over to the wide receivers, and if I like Caleb Williams versus that beat-up Detroit defense, you have to know I'm going to like DJ Moore as a smash wide receiver this week. So currently 13.6 points per game on the season. Snap share 87%, usually in the 90s. Always plays wide receiver one numbers. Target share 25.4%, which is top 20 in the NFL. This is targets galore. Wide receiver 14, so outside the top 10 there. 112 targets, 76 receptions, 758 yards, even 60 rushing yards. Put in 46, I believe, or what was it last game? 36 rushing yards last night, which was nice to see. 5 total TDs in the season. But remember what I said about the Caleb Williams post, right? The Detroit Lions have now lost everybody on defense. Their defense is decimated. So let's look at the Detroit Lions on the season overall currently. 36.3 points they give up to the wide receiver before the injuries they had last week. That ranks 27th. 180.6 yards, which is third last in the NFL. So remember these numbers. Now we're going to look at the past 4 weeks for the Detroit Lions, okay? So the Detroit Lions in the past 4 weeks, 32.28, dropped down a little bit, but you got to remember those injuries happened last night, or that's week 15 here. So when you're looking at those numbers, this is going to be an offense for the Detroit Lions. Just like I said with Caleb Williams, they're going to have to score at will. They're not going to be able to stop much. They've lost too many players on defense. It's probably hurt their Super Bowl contention chances, even losing David Montgomery as well. So, I mean, it's just been it's like a 49ers Lions bad year of injuries. Now, I also like Keenan Allen as well, but I will drop my wide receiver rankings later in the week. But DJ Moore is a must-start smash wide receiver this week for 20-plus points. 6th smash player of the week, wide receiver number 2 is going to be Courtland Sutton. So currently averaging 13.6 points per game. Snap share 90% last week, 94% the week before that. He plays wide receiver 1 numbers. Target share at 25.4%, top 19 in the NFL. Absolute volume galore. Wide receiver 12 overall, so outside the top 10 there. 113 targets, 66 receptions, 878 receiving yards, well on his way to another 1,000-yard season. 6 touchdowns, and you're going to get the Los Angeles Chargers this week in a monster game on Thursday Night Football, right? Both these teams are fighting for their playoff lives. This could decide, who goes to the playoffs between them right here. So you're going to be at the LA Chargers. Now, when we're looking at the Chargers on the season, this is why I do the different look between the season and the last 4 weeks, right? So the LA Chargers on the season, 33.2 points they give up, which ranks 21st. 150.4 yards and 1.1 passing TDs. That's on the season. Now, in the past 4 weeks, the Los Angeles Chargers versus the wide receiver, giving up 37.5. So you're looking at 33.2 to 37.5. They've gotten even worse. They've also given up about, when I'm looking at it, 676 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns. So 1.1 touchdowns was the average. 5 in 4 games, they're about 1.2, 1.3. It's going up. It's getting worse. And their pass defense has really been struggling. So when Courtland Sutton has seen 9 targets, 10 targets, 8 targets, 9 targets, 10 targets, 11 targets, he's averaging 10 targets a game. Yeah, he did have a down game in a smash matchup versus the Colts last week, but he still found the end zone at the end. I expect him to find the end zone again and get a 20-plus point game here in the fantasy football playoffs. Smash this man into your lineup. 7th smash player, first tight end, or heading into the tight end position. And remember, guys, it is very hard to hit smash tight end plays. So these are just favorite tight ends out of the top 10 that you can start right here. So Dalton Kincaid, right? Coming fresh off the injury, he was out for 3 weeks before he played Detroit last week. Still got 9 points in the game. Only played 49% of the snaps and still saw 7 targets. So on the season, 8.3 points per game. Snap share last week, 49%, obviously. Target share, 20.8%, which is top 15 easy for tight ends. Tight end 23 on the season, obviously outside the top 10 there. 66 targets, 38 receptions, 409 receiving yards, 2 total TDs. Now, his workload is going to go up. Obviously, first game back, they're going to temper his expectations. Played 49% of the snaps. Now you're going to get the New England Patriots this week. The New England Patriots versus the tight end on the season give up 12.5, ranking 22nd. They rank 26th in the red zone, 5th or 7th worst there. 53.2 yards, which is middle of the pack, and a 40% chance of a touchdown. That is on the season. So remember, when we're looking at this, 12.5 points that allowed to the position on the season. Let's look at the past 4 weeks. The New England Patriots versus the tight end in the past 4 weeks are ranked 30th, 19.23 points. A 7-point average difference heading down the stretch here. They are getting destroyed by the tight end position. This is going to be a great matchup for Dalton Kincaid. Smash him into your lineups this week. Last but not least, player number 8, smash start. Tight end number 2, David Njoku, is going to get the Cincinnati Bengals this week, right? So before we dive into how amazing this matchup is, on the season, 13.4 points per game. Snap share was 90% last week, which is top 5 for tight ends. He's out there 24/7. Target share 22%, which is number 6 in the NFL. This guy gets volume galore. He is tight end number 10 overall, so right on the top 10. It's very hard to find a tight end outside the top 10. So I stuck right on the cusp here. 87 targets, 56 receptions, 439 yards, 5 total TDs. His numbers would be absolutely bonkers if he didn't miss week 2, 3, and 4. And he got hurt kind of week 5 again when he came back. So this guy's had a slower start to the season. And then he's hurt again in week 15. So going to be healthy here at week 16. Coach Stefanski already said he's going to be out there for week 16. So smash him into your lineup, right? Now, you guys have to see these numbers right here. This is just absolute unbelievable. The Cincinnati Bengals versus tight end on the season ranked 32nd, giving up 17.1, 28th in the red zone, 67.1 yards, which is 5th worst, and a 60% chance of a touchdown. That's 17.1 on the season. In the last 4 weeks, the Cincinnati Bengals are dead last, giving up 21.8, 2 touchdowns and 256 yards. This is going to be possibly your tight end one on the week. The only thing you have to worry about is they've now named Dorian Thompson the quarterback. I don't know what they're doing, not leaving Jameis Winston out there. It's absolutely bonkers. This could hurt David Njoku a lot. So that's the only reason I'm not going to say that he's not going to go for he could go for 30 points if Jameis Winston was out there. So you kind of got to temper with Dorian Thompson, but you're still starting David Njoku. The matchup is absolute pure gold. Smash this guy into your lineup. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. That is my week 16 8 smash start players that I think that are going for 20 plus points that are outside of the top 10. So I give you 2 QBs, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends to give you a little variance there. Before we head out, guys, make sure you smash that like. Make sure you hit that subscription button. It helps me out a ton. Again, you guys have been absolutely amazing with all the support this season. I cannot thank you guys enough. And I will be doing something for the 200th episode. We are 18 episodes away. So stay tuned for that. And that's it for me in this video, guys. And if I'll be live again Thursday, Friday. And if you guys can't make any of the live streams, again, I head out of town. You can drop any comment you want down below, and I'll try to answer every single one of them. I've done that all year long. That is one of my one of my pride goals was to answer everything you guys had if you couldn't make the streams. And that's it for me in this video, guys. My next video will be my top 5 sleepers. And I know sleepers are going to be a tough thing in the semifinals of the playoffs. But if you need a play, these will be plays that I like. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Sleazeball out.